6 AI agents, each built with a unique edge. Miko, AI, Team Leader. Ori AI, Fundamental Analyst. DXY, AI, Technical Analyst. Mesa, AI, Risk Management Specialist. Fenwa, AI Market Sentiment Analyst. And Naledi AI, the cryptocurrency expert. Together, they're engineered to protect, guide, and transform your trading. The future of trading is here. Experience Zentrix AI.
Okay, what's up people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope you're all doing well. As always guys, if you're enjoying the content, enjoying the channel, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and of course hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. But I've got a pretty eventful day up ahead. We've got Bank of Canada interest rates at 1:30 UK time. Is it UK time? Because the clocks did go back. Let me double check that. 1:45 UK time. Is that 1:45 UK time? Yeah, 1:45 UK time, and 6 p.m. Yeah, 6 p.m. We got the Fed interest rate. So, two interest rates coming up today, CAD and USD. So definitely keep an eye out, especially on USD. Of course, if you're not directly trading those pairs, if you're not directly trading CAD, you should be fine. But even USD can affect other markets as well. So I think just in terms of risk, it could be a time to close positions before then, or reduce risk, or simply wait to trade afterwards, which kind of is what I'm looking to do. I don't have any open positions at the moment. USD is still quite messy for me in terms of direction, so I think it's best just to wait for the news to settle, come back again tomorrow, and see what opportunities we have waiting for us, because I don't want to try and force anything, especially going to the news where, you know, added volatility can increase, and it just makes it more difficult to trade, and if you take a loss there, it's unnecessary. So yeah, for me, I'll do my analysis, of course, share my opinions, but I will be looking to wait till after the news, especially regarding USD. Anywho, what's up, Francis? Good morning. Hope you're doing good. Welcome. CS, my man. Hope you're doing good. Welcome to the stream. Precious, good morning. Hope you're doing good. Of course, Francis, 100%. Hope everyone has a great day, great blessed day, and hopefully a profitable day as well, or at least a day where, you know, you manage yourself well, because it could be a day where things go wrong. But you know, if you got a plan, you stick to it. That's the most important thing. What's up, Money Bags? Much love to you as well. Appreciate it. Yeah, very big day. What's up, Sultan? Respect to you as well. What's up, Lebsy? Welcome. Francis, how GJ went? Not good, my man. Not good at all. I mean, it was a small loss because I did manage to reduce risk, but it was still a loss. Price did not redeem that support level. My entry was back over here. My original stop loss was underneath the lows there, so I managed to reduce risk to there. But of course, price still did take me out of the position not too long after the stream yesterday, especially because the pound's been very, very weak. So even yen did buffer a little bit, but pound was like, nope, we're still going down, and pretty much all pound pairs right now are looking very, very bearish. So I'm still looking to long pound. That is still very much a play I'm interested in. Same with same with euro yen and Swiss yen. Those are still 3 yen pairs, which I still do like to the upside. However, it might be time for a bit of retracement, bit of downside, bit of patience before we do step back into some longs. As I mentioned, £4 yen, I do like this low here. So I'll see what price can do here. It's a fairly corrective market in this area, so I'm going to treat this more like a range. Of course, I know the higher time frame trajectory is still very much to the upside, which is still the play, you know, hence why I'm still looking to long, but we have been very, very flat in this area. So I'm looking to see if I can pick the lows, take advantage of that, push back into the median of that range, and then we'll see. Maybe price has the conviction to get going, maybe not. We still got a gap here, price could go fill. Or of course, maybe the trend does reverse, we break structure, and then I look to rethink things. So there are many different scenarios. All I know is that so far, nothing's changed in the higher time frames to dictate my bias. It still has been higher highs and higher lows, and momentum kicked in recently. It's just that we failed to see the conviction on this breakout to get back to highs. Now we're coming back down. Pound is quite weak as well, so I'm going to have to be careful regarding that, because I don't want to be just buying a very weak currency right now. With pounds in free fall, it's best to stay out the way. So I'm going to keep an eye on what other pound crosses are doing and make sure they're starting to slow down, starting to find support before I do pick along on pound yen as well. Because if you do have a quick brief run around, you can see pound CAD falling out the sky, pound USD, that was starting to really pick up momentum as well. Not as much of a big breakout, but still a lot of momentum. What else? Pound CHF, very bearish there as well. Pound Aussie, that was falling really aggressively. Big move down there. And let's take a look at pound NZD. And of course you can throw euro pound in the opposite direction into the party. So pound is clearly, and that's still flying, so pound is clearly a really weak currency right now. So probably pound yen is not the best yen pair to buy in terms of relative strength, but in terms of the setup itself, I do like the technicals. But it's going to be very important to see what other pound pairs are doing and what type of projection we're getting here. Things look good. Yeah, I'm looking to take a long. If not, let you guys know, and I'll step on the sidelines. But yeah, pound yen still looking to long. I'll go through my watch list in its entirety because there's a few yen pairs and some other markets as well. But I will go through USD first. That's kind of where the focus is for today. What's up, Sage Trader? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Precious. Yes, we can analyze Euro Swiss as well. Went long. Okay, cool. Money bags, dollar CAD. Yes, we'll take a look. I'll go through the USD pairs, and dollar CAD is one of them. So we'll take a look at that one there. I'll go through some like the yen pairs and the crosses after I go through some USD pairs. Yen will gain more strength on Trump visit to Japan, possibly. To be fair, that's a term I don't use as much. I used to say it quite a lot before. Why is pound very weak? It's weak to an extent that even a weaker yen seems strong. Yeah, I think it's due to inflation last week. I think we've had some more news since then. But I know the pound started falling since inflation numbers came out last week. And it's of course picked up more momentum this week. Let me check. Okay, to be fair, there hasn't been like there might have been like a speech yesterday, because there hasn't been any major pound news since last week. So I think we're kind of seeing the follow through from the news last week. I think there might be a speech again this week, which has caused that follow through. But yeah, it's not looking good for pound at the moment. Where were we? Yep, we'll take a look at dollar CAD. I saw news about pricing in the rate for cuts in pounds. Yeah, again, yeah, that's definitely gonna cause some weakness as well. When is the pound interest rate? Is it next week? Because we've had, we're about to have CAD, Euro, dollar. I thought we were going to have pound in the same week, but I think it might be next week. What's up, Elmi? Good afternoon. Hope you're well. CAD Swiss. Yes, we'll take a look at that one as well. I'm keeping an eye on CAD CHF. Still a very aggressive bearish trend. I do think we can see more downside there. What's up, Bashi? Welcome to the stream. Break even on GJ just now. Yeah, I took a loss yesterday, so at least slightly better off than me. What are you looking to do with GJ? You're looking at longs on pound yen? Shotgun bang entering FOMC today just since got tagged at break even. Oh, you're saying because of FOMC today, there was a bit more noise? Yeah. Yeah, appreciate it, Bashi. No worries, man. No worries. Um, oh, okay, fair enough on the M1. Yeah, I mean, it's GJ's difficult to get going because of the pound weakness, really. So if you're gonna buy GJ at the moment, you're looking for more of a short-term move. Any swing might just eventually roll back against you, but just because pound is in the bin right now. Anyway, let's go through some pairs before I forget. Then we'll start with the dollar, and then we'll take a look at some crosses and some other markets as well. So, of course, big day today for USD, and I think it's needed because the price action looks horrendous. Price is still fairly consistent with these higher lows, but we're also putting in lower highs here. So there's no kind of overwhelming direction to USD right now, and looks like it's kind of begging for some news to get the ball rolling. And if I scale to the higher time frames, I could very much argue we have been flat for a while. We could probably mark that as a range. Maybe this is a bit of a fake out. Altogether, we haven't really progressed anywhere. So in terms of looking for any swing trades, which has been my plan, these are not the best conditions to be looking to swing anything unless you're trying to short highs and buy lows. There I can make some sense in that. But yeah, even that's not looking crystal clear either. So I'm kind of waiting for some momentum to enter the market, whether we start pushing down aggressively and take out these lows, or we break out and take out this high. I'm not really too bothered. I just want to see conviction in a certain direction, and then I can look to take advantage of that momentum. So that's what I'm looking for. Of course, rates are expected to cut. Potentially we're going to see some USD weakness enter the market. Of course, the news itself, we have to wait and see. That's going to be a highly speculative event. We could see strength, we could see weakness when it is released. I'm also concerned what happens when the news is released and the next kind of 3-4 hours after that, especially going into Thursday, the next day, London session, and really seeing how price is set from the news. That's more what I'm interested in, because that will help set the tone and direction for USD. The news event itself is going to cause some momentum. There might be some opportunities off the back of that if you guys are looking to trade the news. But yeah, I'll rather wait for things to settle, look to see if direction can clear itself up, and then plot opportunities after that. And that's really what my focus will be. But intraday, I don't really have too much to say about the price action. A lot of conflicting analysis here. Higher lows, lower highs, no direction. I wouldn't really look to try and trade that, to be honest. I'm not seeing any clarity there. Euro dollar likewise as well. This one again, higher time frames, quite congested. I mean, it is still a slight uptrend, so there is still that kind of slight wind pushing euro higher, but then equally, we failed to really take out highs successfully. You want to see price break highs well to bet on a continuation of that trend, because we broke the high and came back down really aggressively. It's a sign the trend's tiring. We're having deep pullbacks again, and it's taking forever to see momentum. So altogether, euro dollar is still very flat as well. I wouldn't look to try and do anything with this pair. Again, if I drop intraday, not seeing much consistency here. We're starting to see some higher lows enter the market, and we still do have those lower highs previously as well. So it's a bit like forget the name of the pattern, but price is just squeezing in this triangular pattern here. Eventually it's going to commit, but which direction, I'd rather just wait and see rather than speculate too much, because even if I call the right direction, great, I still have to look for my opportunities, and even if I'm in the wrong direction, I can still look to trade the opposite direction as well. So yeah, not too concerned about trying to nitpick the price action here. I'm sure there'll be like some short-term intraday opportunity, like a 50-minute chart, taking off lows, mainly mean reversion, but no trend following. There's no trend to really follow, to be honest. So being very cautious with euro pound, however, because of course we've seen a lot of pound weakness enter the market. We've actually seen a bit of conviction here, breaking through lows. Looks like we're headed to that daily support level at 1.315, not too far away from that level now. Looks like price is going to test that. Will be interesting to see if we break through or bounce. That could be a nice place to look for some buy opportunities. But yeah, again, with pound USD, I think if you're looking to trade this one, I can see some sense here, especially intraday shorts. I wouldn't be looking for like a big swing here. I'll see if we can maybe find a pullback. It's awkward. It's awkward because as the day continues, the closer we get to the news, and you probably see volume die, you know, before the news eventually comes out. If there was no news coming out later today, like no big news, I would probably say looking for like some short-term pullbacks and then a push into that daily support level, because you would expect price to get there at the very least. A lot of momentum's picked up, so you can look take advantage of that. And for a drop lower, you got some nice structure to look to trade off. So I like what I'm seeing there from pound. We've got a clear push, clear pause, another clear push. If we can retest anywhere in there, provided we see some healthy rejection, I think that's a smart play for a short. And you're not looking for anything crazy as well, because you can see every time the market does sweep a low, we do tend to have a pretty big pullback. As you can see, we set that low, pullback, and now sweeping this low here as well. So there is a chance we do push down just to do this eventually. So I would be cautious about looking for a big drop, but just a pullback, another push back to low of this support level looks pretty likely. So I like that idea for pound. The only thing that might be a bit awkward is that for us to get a pullback there and a retest and entries, it's going to take a few hours for that to happen. And with every hour that passes, the closer you get to news. So it could be a situation where if we do get the pullback, you might be taking it maybe 2-3 hours before the news, and you know, price is not going to probably drop to your targets before then. So it'd be a situation where you're holding a trade into news. You know, you can reduce risk or just wait till after, but then the move might have already gone. So it's an awkward situation there, and that's going to be the situation for pretty much any trade you might look to take today. Is that okay? Is it going to be done before the news? If so, then yeah, take it. Even if it isn't done before the news, you can just close it. But if it's going to be near enough your entry going to the news, is it still worth taking the position or waiting till tomorrow? Or just maybe if you normally risk 1R, you know, risk 0.25R. So worst case scenario, if you do get slipped, you know, your risk is still very much measured. In dollar CAD's case, we're having a bit of a pullback as well. So interesting here, we're seeing a lot of USD weakness enter the market, whereas pound USD, we're seeing not necessarily USD strength, but we're seeing the move that doesn't favor that. So it's clearly that CAD and pound are on two different sides of the spectrum right now. But as for dollar CAD, I like the daily structure here. Nice consolidation, a fairly decent breakout. Wasn't the most impulsive breakout you ever see, but a lot of conviction there. Now we're pulling back into the structure. Let's see what price does. Are we going to form another higher low to continue, or is price going to do something else? We'll have to wait and see. But this is my area of interest for dollar CAD on the daily. I'm not looking to try and pick the low here. I'm looking to see if we can at least shape up as if we're forming a higher low. Then maybe as structure breaks to the upside, I can find some pullbacks to trade it back to the high, and so on and so forth. So still long bias in dollar CAD. Looking to follow this momentum. At the moment, we are pretty bearish. So again, intraday, there might be some shorts to look into. So if we can pull back into some structure there, break and retest, you might find another drop. So that could be a nice, interesting play. But we are coming to some daily structure underneath. So again, not looking for anything too crazy. A push back into the prior low is probably a good trade. You can always leave a small amount to run if you really want to push the trade. But short-term sales for dollar CAD, I like the consolidation. Really strong drop as well. Makes sense. Long-term, I am waiting for buys, but that's way too early at the moment. Aussie dollar's coming to an interesting place, but again, I'm running to the same predicament in terms of I got the interest rates coming out. If I do take a trade, especially a swing trade, you know, I'm looking to try and hold that for a few days, especially when there's big news coming out. I'd always rather look to be in maybe 2-3 days before, so that means the trade's in motion. Or if I'm not in 2-3 days, or at least the day before, I don't want to enter on the day or just a few hours before the news. I'd rather just wait till after the news or the day after, because that's when the most risk is at play. So yeah, it's just a bit of an awkward situation now with Aussie. I like where we're trading back into key resistance. We've come back to 0.66. Nice supply level here. Really strong move to the downside. I do think this is a place where we can at least drop. The direction is pretty choppy for Aussie dollar, but if we can hold resistance here, there is a good chance we do drop and we do see price maybe come back to retest this area. I'm not looking for like a big swing for Aussie dollar like this. I'm also looking just to see if we can play the reaction, and let's see how far we take it. Maybe price does that, maybe we do that. It's a really choppy condition, so I'll just play it in the short term. So yeah, I like where Aussie's trading. I do think this is an area which we can see some downside. It's just, again, if I do take a short there, it's probably not going to play out in the next few hours. And then, yeah, I do run into a bit of trouble there. In terms of New Zealand dollar, pretty consistent with the lower lows and lower highs. As I said, as long as we can maintain this high, I'm still bearish. Still looking for a lot more downside. Looking for price to take out this low. Eventually push back to some really significant support on the weekly down here. That's the longer term play. So for the time being, just actively looking to short with the intention that as long as we maintain structure, there's a good chance we can drop to the lows there. This has been a super corrective pullback. So again, biding our time, wait and see what price does at this level. Because we're very corrective, it means there's a good chance price could hold on to this. But again, I want to see some really strong rejection, because if we maintain this corrective nature, I don't want to be shorting into that. I want to see price maintain that corrective nature, but then give me something that to show that, okay, bears have stepped in. It could be a trend line break. It could be like a flag type pattern, or even a double top even. But something to say that momentum shifted and the bears are coming back in. But this is the area I'm keeping a close eye on. And in terms of gold and silver, some bullish momentum this morning, pushing back up. Yesterday's candle did pull back a bit and leave a bit of a wick there. And of course today looking pretty bullish, back above last week's low as well. Again, so with gold, I'm still leaning to the bearish side of things. I'm not looking to buy just yet, but it does depend with momentum, because I'm still looking at this pullback, still looking at this move as a big pullback to get us back to highs eventually. But since we have created some bearish structure, push, pullback, push, taking out some lows here, I'm not going to be looking to buy the market just yet or trying to catch the lows. But if we can get a strong push, especially taking the highs here, I don't mind looking for some pullbacks after that, because at that point, I've got a strong tell that momentum's entered the market again. So yeah, with gold, I'm going to see what we do at this level here. We very much could get a nice break and retest and another move down. That's what I'm going to be keeping a close eye on. It's going to depend how we react to that level. It's going to depend what happens with the rates later. But if we stay below, shorts look good. If we break above like that, this could be looked as a bit of a fake out. You can maybe treat that as the next swing low, and maybe you can start talking about some longs again for gold. But for now, this is still bearish territory. I'm looking to see if we can see some downside. And lastly, silver as well, same situation applies, coming back into that range. Again, I'm looking for some downside, but we've closed with a bit of strength. So now's the time to start seeing some rejection. Now's the time to start seeing some wicks and the bears stepping back in. If silver does continue to push, especially through the other side, that for me is a more of a bullish sign. And we could be looking at some pullbacks and more upside. Still not keen on the buys yet. I'm still leaning towards the sell side of things. But yeah, momentum's really stepped in, and I'm going to give that a gauge. You have to be careful with the shorts, even though, yes, we've seen some bearish structure. Predominantly, the market is still very bullish. So you still have to be patient, even despite that we've seen a bit of momentum. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with USD for now, and gold and silver. Still kind of just not too sure. Wait for the news. Gold and silver still leaning to a bearish side of things, but momentum's picked up, so I'm going to be a bit cautious, looking to short, but that's still the play. Anywho, let's go through some requests. So Euro Swiss, CAD CHF's been mentioned. We'll take a look at those two. Let's see, where was I? Yes, we could take a look at Aussie yen longs as well. Sniper one entry. Oh, 3.5 pip stop loss. Wow. Volume came in nice, but tagging me out. Oh, okay, fair enough. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean today's going to be noisy, even and the closer it gets to the news, the more not even noisy, just kind of more random and more um, what's the word I'm looking for? The market will fluctuate a bit more because bigger players are keeping one eye firmly on the news, so positions will be pulled and then entered back into the market again after the news has come out, because now you've got a bit of uncertainty, you've got a bit of a bit of tension as people wait for the rates and what Powell's going to say, and then that's when a lot of people start adding positions back to the market. So you're going to get a lot more wider spreads. Volume might drop as you get close to the news, and conditions are not great, especially intraday as well. I mean, London should be fairly okay, but going into New York and as the day progresses, will get weirder. CS still holding. GJ, okay, nice. I mean, I'm still looking to buy it, but I need to go down a little bit more before I do find some entries. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I am a similar bias to you, to be honest. Just no entry for myself yet. Anyway, I'll go through some CHF pairs, take a look at Aussie Yen. There's some more pairs requested, which I'll get to as well. Let me just take a look at some of these markets. So Euro Swiss seeing some upside. Yeah, so I'm not really a big fan of Euro Swiss. I'm not looking to trade this one. It's a very choppy pair. I did say yesterday that if we can sweep the low here, I do think there might be some nice buys because of how consistent price has been. Every time we do get to one of these lows, price does bounce and pull back up again. So I'm kind of looking to see if we can spike lower, come back up quickly as well. I do think there could be a bit of a bounce shortly after that, and that could be a nice tradable opportunity. At the moment, we're back at support. I'm not really looking to short here because it's kind of like this is the low of the range. This is not really the best place to be looking to do your short opportunities unless you're going to be very in and out. So I'm not really looking to short Euro CHF. I'm actually looking for longs here. This is the better play based on where we're trading and the condition of the market. I know we are predominantly bearish, but this is where if you are going to buy, that's where it would make sense. If you are going to sell, you kind of want price to be back at major resistance again, even if you're intraday too, because a lot of this is just noise, and if you get caught up in there, it's not going to be great. But yeah, yesterday I did say for Euro Swiss that if you are a bit more intraday, maybe keep an eye on this level here because it's a bigger level, more interest has been focused at that level with rejection once, twice, a third time, fourth even, then we had the break and retest. So I said keep an eye on that, but if you're looking for longs, this is the area to keep an eye on. So yeah, Euro CHF hasn't reached any significant level to me. So yeah, I wouldn't really touch Euro CHF to be honest. CAD CHF though, that one's a bit more interesting. Again, there's a bit more momentum at play here for CAD Swiss, more direction at play. As long as price doesn't take out this high, we still do have that bearish structure at play. Of course, these are all-time lows, so I'm always slightly apprehensive, but to be honest, as long as the market maintains structure, I would definitely just retain that bearish bias. Eventually, price is going to shift and break structure. Maybe it's time, we don't know. But until we do, I would still just keep that selling mindset and looking for good opportunities for a short. I like how price is moving. It looks like we're coming back for a big break and retest of support here. I like how we've taken out this high here as well. I would say if you can get a strong close back underneath, that's a nice short opportunity. I wouldn't necessarily bank on the push back to the low here because you are looking for quite a big move. But because you do have that selling pressure in your favor, there's a good chance price does reject this high here. But I would say as soon as you get to support here, you're looking to lock in some gains because perhaps we could still see this momentum continue. There's some bullish structure into the market. Perhaps we still see the buyers take control. So you do have to keep probability in mind and not always shoot for the moon every time. I mean, there's nothing wrong with looking for that swing. It makes sense. The trend is bearish, and we're taking out low after low each time, but always be able to manage the trade as well. Certainly if you want to manage your drawdown too. So yeah, I would say shorts on CAD Swiss look good. Let's see if we can get back underneath this high. I like the way prices move, swept the high, especially if you get a strong recovery I think that's a good trade there. But first target around that low, and then yeah, if things go very well, we could see price push to this low and maybe new lows too. So I think CAD CHF's the better trade. Cleaner momentum, clearer chart, direction's pretty obvious there. So until we take out that high, I'll keep that short bias up. And Aussie Yen's pushing hard. Looks like Aussie's quite strong today because a lot of yen pairs are kind of just stagnant or even slightly bearish. But Aussie Yen is actually up on the day and had a nice little spike there this morning. Looks like we're trying to attack the highs on the left over there. I'm not seeing much of an opportunity, to be honest, with Aussie Yen, unless you're very, very intraday and you're only looking for like a small push, because you do have a pretty convincing uptrend right now, and the chances are we probably do take out this high. But again, you're practically at the high right now, so there's not a lot of room to take advantage of. But what I will say is intraday, price is super, super consistent, at taking out these highs here and keeping the higher lows. So if we do drop again for Aussie Yen, there's a nice area of demand here price could come into. There's a good chance another higher low does form, and we could still see a push back to the high. So you're still taking advantage of this trend, but being wary that we are approaching resistance and maybe the market does have a bit of a pullback. So I'm not seeing much on Aussie Yen apart from maybe like a small pullback trade back to highs. But because we're practically already at the highs, there's not a lot of room to take advantage of, unless, again, we see another strong breakout for whatever reason in the next couple of days, and then we can talk about the next pullback after that. But this pullback has pretty much done its job. So unless you're looking for like a slight pullback and a push back to highs, I would say wait for the next break of the high, and the next pullback after that could be the better trade. So yeah, I mean, still very bullish for Aussie Yen. I'm still very bullish on most yen pairs. Very much on pound, euro, pound, euro, and Swiss. Aussie not as much, but still pointing up. So I do think longs are the best play. Yes, we could take a look at pound yen as well. What's up, Malik? I missed your message earlier. My bad. What did you say? Oh yeah, I did. My bad. Welcome to the stream, man. Hope you're doing good. Apologies. I probably missed someone else's message, to be honest, at this point. Trying to see. Yes, we can take a look at New Zealand dollar as well. I'll go through pound yen first and take a look at New Zealand dollar. Ready to lose money. That's the spirit, Bashi. That's the spirit. Yoshi, I went short pound USD from Monday, but I closed in profit yesterday night because of FMC volatility. I'm feeling fear of missing out because it went down even more. How can I deal with the FOMO? I'm not sure if you guys can hear the rain, by the way, but it's coming down heavy. How can you deal with the FOMO? Good question. Well, with FOMO, there's so many different avenues you can explore with FOMO, because you could have FOMO for so many different reasons. You could have FOMO for the reason of just wanting to be in a trade. You can have FOMO for the reason of you just, in your case, you've taken a nice win, but you could have made more if you stayed in. So now you're taking FOMO out of the want to make more profit, or the want to make profit that you could have made yesterday. But the root cause behind all FOMO is the thinking that there's not going to be another good opportunity in the near future. Because if you really believe there is another good opportunity around the corner tomorrow, or if not next week sometime, if you truly believe there's a good opportunity coming up, then that FOMO feeling will diminish quite a lot. I wouldn't say go to zero, because we are humans. We're all going to get that kind of natural FOMO tendency here and there. We all have emotions. But it will decrease dramatically if you can kind of wire your mind to think that there's always going to be a good opportunity tomorrow or the next week. And because you believe that there is a good opportunity, then there's no reason to try and jump into a trade which is already moving. Because if you think that, okay, this is a really good opportunity, this is the only way I can make money this week or today, next week I'll probably give it back with a rubbish trade, let me just get into this trade here. Yeah, then you're going to have full-blooded FOMO in that situation. So try to think a bit more long-term, and you know, there's always another opportunity to the market. If you have that kind of thought process, it will help with FOMO. Tosh, what's up? Welcome. Okay, let's go through some pairs. So yeah, GJ is still a market which I'm looking to buy, but again, being very careful because pound has just been crushing every single, well, actually that's not the right word, has been getting battered against every single currency. So pound is really, really weak right now. But the funny thing with that is things can change. Pound's weak right now. Maybe 24 hours something happens, it looks to start to settle, maybe even gain some strength. So things can change pretty quickly, but I'm going to keep an eye on other cross pairs regarding pound. But the plan with GJ is still, we do have a pretty clear uptrend. This is our last swing low which gave us that high. As long as we maintain this trend, I'm looking to see if we can pick some longs off this low, because GJ is actually in a bit of a range right now on the 4-hour chart. You know, this is very much a range, more or less equal highs, more or less equal lows. So the best way to play this is trying to pick the lows and then look for some mean reversion back into the range. Yeah, there's your middle, that could be a nice target. Because we do have the trend in our favor, there's a greater chance that we keep going back to highs and maybe even go back to new highs. So this is why I like the trade, because you're playing a bit of both sides of the coin. You've got a bit of mean reversion with the range, if price can hold that low. And then you've got the probability of the higher time frame trend. If that can play, you know, you got yourself a nice winning opportunity. If, however, the trend doesn't really pull through, what you could expect is, again, a nice long here, back to the middle, or maybe back to the high of the range, and maybe price falls over again. But this is still a worthy move to trade, and you can still bank some healthy profits along the way. It doesn't have to be a home run for you to make a profit. Even just trading it back to the middle, that's a nice checkpoint to book some profits, or at least remove risk in that case. Because if, you know, if price does come back down against you at that point, you might as well just look for a re-entry rather than sit in your original trade. So yeah, pound yen, I still like the longs at this low. We'll see what we do at that price, but yeah, keep an eye on pound, because that will be a good metric. If pound pairs are still falling out the sky and looking hella bearish, then there's a good chance pound yen's going to follow. So you don't want to get away in the way of that. Like I said, for New Zealand dollar, I'm pretty bearish on as well. I'm looking for more downside. We're coming back into a nice supply zone, as long as we don't break the high here. I mean, we could still break the high and do like this, like a fake break of the high, you know, come back deeper and then pull back. That's another opportunity which we'll discuss later on. But if this momentum is going to continue, then I do want us to respect this area. So the area of interest I have right now for New Zealand dollar is this zone here, which we're not quite there yet. We're super corrective, not really seeing much strength, so that's a good sign. But what we do here is going to be even more important. So I'm going to keep an eye. Maybe a counter trend line break could look good, or double top, or waiting for price to maybe consolidate, momentum to shift, and look for pullbacks along the way. That could also be a nice play. But it's too early to say, because of course we could rally through and break the high, like I said too. So that could still be a situation as well. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see with New Zealand dollar. But the focus is that 0.581 area. Okay, where was I? Aussie dollar, yes, we should we'll take a look at that as well. If I do miss out, on a pair, just let me know. Sheep waiting for the shepherd to take care. Okay, so yeah, Aussie dollar, we'll take a look at next. All positions in profit GU don't enter, monitor after news. Yeah, I think that's the best play as well. Still holding dollar CHF. Okay, we'll take a look at that too. Appreciate it, money bags. Appreciate the love, man. If you guys are enjoying the content, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. It does really help out, and I do appreciate it. No way, you can hear the rain. Adds ambience to the stream. Yeah, I mean, it is raining like It's the last rain you'll ever see in Kigali right now. It is coming down buckets. And the thing is, with Kigali, everything is like on hills and mountains. So at the bottom, there's going to be so much water there. But to be honest, I do like it when it rains like this and you're inside. It's quite a nice little feeling. Of course, Joshi. There'll always be another good opportunity later on. My PC was making noise. Yeah, it's that loud. I think my mic is just a bit too strong because it's picking up everything. It was picking up people doing stuff outside. So it's raining heavily in Kenya. Nice. And Kenya's not too far from Rwanda. No regrets for missing out because ours are achieved. Yeah, no, yeah, of course. Yeah, there's always going to be that conflicting, feeling in a trade, because very rarely you're going to get out of trade exactly where price is going to reverse from. Most of the time when you get out of position, price is going to go a little bit further. Sometimes it'll go a lot further, sometimes it'll go a little bit further in reverse. Maybe once in every 50 trades you take, you might get out to the exact pip before price falls back to your entry or something. But very rarely will be exact. So you're going to have to get comfortable with that feeling of getting out of the trade, because your goal isn't to take advantage of the whole move, 100% of the move. Your goal is to take advantage of the bulk of it. If you have that as your mentality, take advantage of the bulk, then it's a little bit easier to digest. The thing is, even with that as your mentality, you probably will still you'll still get trades where the market still continues. But yeah, it's always a difficult thing to face. But as long as your equity curve is pointing up, I'm not really too bothered, to be honest. Because if my equity curve is up, but I still left like 200 pips on the table, okay, yeah, I should have taken advantage of those extra 200 pips, but I still made profit. I'm still happy, to be honest. So I'm not here to be as greedy and take advantage of every pip. I wish I was, but that's not the case, unfortunately. Anyway, for GU, things still look pretty bearish. Of course, we've seen that theme of pound weakness, and that has definitely bled into pound USD. Because if you look at all the other USD pairs, it's not really a theme that you're seeing USD being the stronger currency. Euro a little bit, dollar CAD not the case, Aussie dollar not the case, New Zealand dollar not the case, dollar CHF, that's just flat. So pound's the only USD major pair which is showing the opposing currencies weaker than the dollar right now. And of course, pound's pretty weak against pretty much every currency. So I don't mind the shorts here, but I wouldn't be looking for anything crazy. I wouldn't look to try and swing this for like a big move. I said this looks like a nice area for a pullback, and if you can get that back into the prior low, that looks good. The only situation is this pullback will at least take a few hours, and then that will run into time closer to the news. So you're probably waiting to take this trade after the news anyway. Unless you're already short pound, I wouldn't see any opportunity to get in now. So I'll let that breathe. Yes, we'll take a look at Euro Aussie as well. I'll go through Euro Aussie, dollar CHF. Yeah, I'll go through those two. Then I'll go through like go through my watch list. Where do I live? At the moment in Kigali, Rwanda, and it's rainy season, so yeah, it's calmed down now. But yeah, it comes and goes because the weather's still pretty warm. I mean, what's the temperature? Yeah, it's still 21 degrees, so it's warm. But then you have these sudden like flash floods of rain, which is quite cool. As long as I'm not caught in it, I'm fine. Anywho, let's take a look at dollar Swiss. Then we'll go through Euro Aussie. So dollar CHF, I've checked out of this pair really, to be honest, because again, very very flat conditions. Unless you're kind of really focused on mean reversion, taking highs and buying lows. If you're trend focused, momentum focused, this condition right now is your arch nemesis. You're not going to perform well here. And that's why I always bring it back to, what is the best conditions for your strategy? Is it corrective? Is it trending? Is it aggressive trending? Is it light trending? You need to know what your play is, and then you can lean into that and avoid everything else. Or if you have multiple strategies, you know when to shift. I can use my aggressive strategy or my more light strategy. You can know the two. This is just pure sideways. You can see we've tried to make new lows here. We did, but price came right back up. So all together, it has been a pretty bearish few weeks, few months here for dollar CHF, but we're clearly coming to a phase where that momentum is stagnating, and especially with a big news event coming up. I'm not expecting the Fed to give us a breakout necessarily, but it could get the ball rolling for something later on, or could start a new president for USD Swiss. So yeah, in terms of opportunities, if you're looking for like a short-term play, looking for shorts at the high, there's not a bad idea. Just looking for price to take the higher, recover it. You can get a play back to the middle. Likewise with the lows here as well. If you're looking for direction, there isn't really much, unless we kind of show signs that we're breaking through lows again, and then you can bet on the continuation of that, and likewise to the upside. But dollar CHF for me is just a very very sideways pair right now. So if you're looking for opportunities, I'll just focus on the highs and lows. And that's not a bad high to start with, 0.798. If you can sweep that, recover it, could be a nice push back into the medium. But yeah, not my favorite pair right now. Hurricanes, not that I know of. Not that I know of. It's normally just like crazy rain. There's a lot of like storms and stuff, but no hurricanes. Haven't had that. Some earthquakes though. There is a bit of earthquakes in Kigali. Small ones though, not really big ones. Most of them you don't feel. No way, Miller's 5 to 10. Wait. Oh, okay. 5 to 10 degrees. I thought it was 5 to -10. I was going to say, what has happened? But yeah, 5 to 10 degrees. Yeah, that's one thing that I'm enjoying. I'm not going to lie, the temperature change. Yeah, I do live in the UK, but I'm staying in Kigali for a bit. So yeah, gonna see how that goes. Yeah, could be long term. Could be long term. Oh, from Bahamas and hurricane season. Yeah, I mean that's called like island settings in a big sea, so I can definitely see the hurricanes coming to play, especially that side of the world. A lot of hurricanes. Yeah, mainland Africa, not really hurricane prominent. Let's take a look at Euro Aussie. Or at least not to my knowledge. So yeah, Euro Aussie. Oh, okay, not quite. But more or less we have pushed the low here. So now is an interesting situation. Are we going to bounce or are we going to break out? I would be looking at signs of a bounce here. I do like what I'm seeing, especially on the day candle. But again, I probably would wait for us to... I mean, that's a nice rejection, I'm not going to lie. I like the spike there. I do like the spike. But again, you always kind of run the risk and trade that into the news later. But it's not directly affected. So especially if you have a bigger stop loss, you should be all right. Give yourself some room there. I like the rejection on that wick, and even just trading it back to this zone's a nice opportunity. Then we'll go from there. I do think, however, longer term, we probably are going to break through this support level. I'm looking at Pound Aussie, which is a close partner of Euro Aussie, and Pound Aussie is falling out the sky. And one way I do look at correlation between similar markets is, are we breaking levels or are we holding levels? So if Pound Aussie was at support here and respecting support right now, then I would say that's a good buy in Euro Aussie, because Pound Aussie, a similar market, is respecting support. You can even throw Euro NZD into that situation as well. I mean, Euro NZD in this case is respecting demand, so that's a good sign. But the fact that Pound Aussie is not is a bit of a red flag there. So I would say if Pound Aussie was holding support too, and you got Euro Aussie holding support, that's a really good buy, because Pound Aussie is breaking through. Doesn't mean Euro Aussie is guaranteed to break through as well, but it's not in sync. It's not the best it could be. If you want to break out, you want correlated pairs to all be looking like they're about to break out, then the odds of the breakout is much higher, and vice versa. So you got one breaking, one holding. So if you are looking to play Euro Aussie, I think it's still a good buy, but I just wouldn't be looking for like a big move, because the uncertainty is still there. So I wouldn't necessarily try and bank on a full range, a full swing back to the top end of the range. That could be the case, but quite uncertain right now. And just looking for like a short-term bounce back into some structure on the lower time frames could be a nice play, and then that could be enough to manage risk or take some partials, and you go from there. And if the market does break support, well, the breakouts look good. Hopefully momentum picks up, but I expect to push back into this support level. So either which way, if we hold or not, I think there's a good opportunity coming into play. But at the moment, still stuck in the range, so that's the focus for now. And if we do see a strong close below, I'll speak more about the push here. But yeah, not quite here yet. You 15 minutes looking for a sell around 1.16. Okay, I think that's the best way to do it, to be honest. If you're looking to trade Euro, keep it short and sweet. I would be looking for a big swing. Mashi's not a fan. Yeah, exactly. Hot weather almost all the time, so beaches is your best friend. Yeah, yeah. That is that's painful to hear from someone who lives in the UK. To be fair, the UK in summer is really nice. I really like the UK in the summer, especially London. London's really nice in the summer. You know, there's really nice parks, weather's good, nice place to be, nice people. Just the winter, and it gets dark really early. Dark. The sunset is quite late as well. Then like 4 p.m. it's already getting dark, and then you got the rain, you got the cold. That's not great. But the summer, I like the summer. You hate where some of us dream to go. Yeah. I think it just, it's a lot things. A lot of people just hate where they are, and it doesn't really matter where you are, because you could literally be anywhere, and there's always someone who doesn't like where they are. And you could be in the best place possible, and you still won't like it either. Miko, to be honest, it's the honest truth. I really like the UK in the summer. Yeah, I've got really good friends there. Weather's good. There's really nice gardens you can go to. There's so many things to do as well. I really like the UK, especially London. I'm not talking like north, like Sheffield or something. I'm talking prime London, like Hyde Park, Regent's Park, all those areas. Really nice places. Kick a ball, do play some games. Yeah. In the summer, I'm having a great time. Winter, yeah, opposite. But to be honest, I'm not really hard to please. If I can have good people, good weather, I'm happy, to be honest. Okay, let me go through some of the pairs while I watch this before I forget. If I have missed out some pairs someone's requested, just drop it in the chat again. I probably have. There's a lot of messages to scroll through. So yeah, if that's the case, let me know. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean, Francis. One man's drunk is another man's Trevor. Yeah, that's always the case. You know, you could dream of a place to live there, and I guarantee you find someone who absolutely hates that place and wants to move somewhere else. And I think that's just human nature. Like, eventually you're going to find something you don't like about something. And it's true, there generally could be, but you just don't want to let the bad things blind the good things. London twice. Plymouth and stuff is good, but crazy expensive. Plymouth? Never been Plymouth. Never go to London again. Damn, Bash, you're not a fan of the UK at all. Alright, take care, Malik. Have a good one, man. Catch you tomorrow. Stay safe with the news. Back to Forex. Yeah, at least we can agree we like trading. I mean, if you are here and you don't like trading, that's crazy work. So I think we can all agree on that topic. Dre Huntley, pound yen 15. Okay, yeah. I mean, pound yen is the first bet I was going to go through, but yeah, we can take a look at the 15 as well. Appreciate that, Malik. Yeah, guys, if you are enjoying the channel, drop a like, subscribe. Does really help out, and of course, what else? Hit the bell so you don't miss out any streams in the future. Nico's giving us lots of premium content. I appreciate it. Yeah, I try my best with the streams, guys. Try to stay consistent as well, even when things are getting dodgy. Because at the moment, since I've come to Rwanda, I've just been buying a lot of data right now. To be fair, it's not expensive, to be honest, so it's not really much of a pain. But because the internet in the place I'm staying is not great, so I've just been buying data to stream and upload videos as well. But yeah, it's not really expensive, so it's not a big deal. Anywho, pound yen. So yeah, I'm actually looking to buy this, but that's more of like a swing approach. So I'm looking to see what we can do at the lows here. As I've been saying, if price can reject well, I'm looking for a bounce. In terms of the 15, well, because we've been so bearish, I would be looking at some short-term sell opportunities. I like how price is still respecting supply here. We're still super consistent with the lower highs. And as long as we don't suddenly do something like this, you're looking good for shorts. But of course, be very wary of this low, because you know a lot of people will be focusing at this low here. There's a good chance we do take out that low and noise starts to happen. We might break out, we might not, but I'll be careful once that low is taken. So in terms of the 15, shorts is your best friend for now. Still very consistent with the low lows and low highs. Momentum still bearish. Yes, we are starting to slow down. You can see we are becoming a bit more corrective. If you compare this to that, there's a big difference. But we are still pointing down. So I would wait for another push up. You don't want to be getting in early to the trade. A lot of people will be looking at some shorts here on a pullback, get ready for a move down. I mean, maybe the market does move down, but clearly the theme of the market is more of a deeper stretch, a deeper pullback. We're having 50, 60, 70% pullbacks here. You want to keep with that theme until proven otherwise. So I'll be looking at pushback into resistance here, and lines up that high well. If you reject well, I think that's a nice place for a short. And then we'll move on from there. But from more of a swing perspective, that's my aim of the game. I appreciate it, Bashi. Yeah, guys, if you are enjoying the stream, drop a like, and of course drop any chats or recommendations in the chart or any questions, and I'll be happy to discuss. Internet's been fired. To be honest, the internet's actually quite good in Rwanda. Like, you can get 4G in the most remote places. Last time I came here, I was on a safari, and I had actually good data. I had good cell service, and I was in the middle of the jungle, mate. So that was actually pretty impressive. But for some reason, the place I'm at now, not quite cutting it. But hopefully that will change by either tomorrow or next week. Okay, so I'll go through my watch list. So like I said, pound yen, looking to buy dips there. Same analysis for Swiss and Euro yen. We do have a pretty convincing uptrend at play, and I'm still looking to take that same uptrend to higher prices. I'm looking at maybe a long-term push to 200. I can see that as being a big draw on price. But for now, we're starting to flag a little bit. It looks like there's going to be another pullback. Because we are lowering our momentum, we're not as aggressive as we once were. I'm going to be a bit more patient. But again, as long as price can stay above this low here, I'm still very much going to be attacking the longs. What I'll be looking for is maybe price to find some support, consolidate, maybe push down, kind of sweep some lows. I'm always looking for more of like a flag pattern to develop. It doesn't have to be picture perfect flag, but the concept of a flag is, price has had an impulse, it's pulled back, it's acted like it's about to continue, it fails, it takes out its previous low, then you bet on the continuation there. The reason why I like these entries is because I'm entering really low down. I'm entering as price recovers that low. There's a good probability price will at least probably push to the upper end of the channel anyway. So in the case where I don't get the full swing, I can still potentially take profit there if I want to. And the probability is pretty good for continuation. And I like the logic as well. You get early people into the buy, they get taken, and then you enter the trade. I like that logic and how it works out. There's sense to it. So yeah, I'm waiting for something like that to happen. Again, how it will exactly look on the market is yet to be seen, but that's kind of the concept I'll be looking for. But yeah, I'm liking the longs here for Swiss and Euro yen. Exact same play, exact same setup. Scoot to the daily chart, momentum still looks up. So I'm dropping to the 4 hour for my execution. Not quite ready yet. I do like this area here, so I'm going to keep an eye on that. We are starting to become a little bit more corrected, which I like. You can see we've had support there. Price took out support, starting to recover as well. Maybe again, if you can consolidate here, push down, that could be a nice little buy. Back to highs and maybe further as well. Next big psychological level is 180, which is here. I'd probably say 179 as well. Keep an eye on that one. But we haven't been in these prices for long, so I'm not really looking to the left to try and gauge where levels are, because the last time we were trading at 180, 179. In fact, if I go to, you can see here, was back in 1990. And I wasn't even born by then. So I'm not really going to refer to those prices because it's been such a long time. So I'm just going to look at the psychological levels and treat those as big levels. And they are big levels. So yeah, Euro JPY still very much in play. Pound JPY and Swiss. Those are the 3 yen pairs I'm going to focus on. In terms of my game plan for USD for post news, because I've been very reluctant to trade USD up till now. But let's say if we do get some weakness for I mean, I do both scenarios. Let's say if we do get some weakness for the dollar, then my focus primarily will be it will be longs on euro dollar, because with that one there is a slight uptrend at play. And if I do see price start to break this counter trend line and momentum picks up well, I don't mind some pullbacks to take it back to resistance here. So let's say if we do get a very weak dollar and that persists, and by tomorrow we've already seen that momentum really take control, especially if it does take up this high well, then I'll be looking at some pullback opportunities back to resistance, and it looks like this will just be another higher low over here. Higher low, high, higher low, high, higher low, new high, or at least the retest of the high. Even if USD is going to be very weak, I'm not going to be super weak on. I'm not going to be super bearish on the USD, because this trend is clearly a trend that is dying. So it might give us one last push back to the high, but I'm not necessarily expecting big continuation unless momentum really comes into play and I see a new kind of found momentum to the market. Then yeah, fair enough. But if it's just another push back to the high, I wouldn't be too surprised if we roll back over shortly after. But this could still be a nice opportunity to bet on. So if USD is weak going into tomorrow and we're starting to see some momentum taking out structure here, and this looks like a higher low forming, this is going to be my plan. Pullback, continuation patterns back to resistance around 1.19. If USD is strong, and of course if gold and silver pick up momentum, pullbacks on those as well. If USD is strong, then my focus will be looking at some longs on dollar CAD. It'll be looking to short pound if we can get a big breakout. So I'll go to dollar CAD first. So if trading view can load, are we back? Yeah, we're back. Apologies, guys. I think a signal cut there. Might be because of the weather. But yeah, we're back. So if USD is strong, so yeah, dollar CAD longs, basically looking at a break and retest of this zone here. Price is coming back on a pullback, and I'm just expecting a continuation of this trend here. So the plan is if strength comes in, again, pullbacks back to high, probably betting on new highs as well. And another USD market, which I like, pound USD as well. If this manages to break this support level, then I will be assuming that this is going to be like a top for pound for this bullish move. And now I'm expecting trending conditions, on the way down, back to the middle, because I would say pound's like in a big channel right now. So you got your median around there. That could be a nice target to have in mind, anywhere around 1.29, 1.28, and maybe we do push to the lower end, but that's something a little bit more of a bigger trade, which I'm not looking for to hold it that far. So yeah, pound USD, if dollar weakness continues, of course, we'll see what happens with pound. But if we do see a break of this level here, I would bet a more downside, 1.29 roughly. Could be a nice target to have in mind, and just looking for pullbacks along the way. And the final USD pair, which I like, Aussie dollar, more like mean reversion, if price can respect the high there. It depends, because we might have already left, so I'm not as excited about this opportunity, because I've got a feeling that if USD does see some strength, well, price is going to react to that level and pull away. And then at that point, it's probably reaching this level here, which is not really a place I want to be shorting into. So maybe if Aussie dollar's still there, cool, there might be an opportunity. If not, GU shorts, dollar CAD longs will be my play. And of course, I'll see what happens with gold and silver, maybe some shorts there too. So that's my USD plan. Yeah, we did lose for a second. It always happens once per stream. There needs to be some type of connection issue. But that's my plan for USD. Those are the pairs I'm going to focus on. And of course, hopefully tomorrow we'll have a clear understanding of what happened, what went down with the USD. And I'll share which pairs I'm going to actually be leaning into and what the setups will be. And then in terms of some of the crosses, well, pound CAD is breaking structure. What's up, Raymond? Welcome to the stream, my man. Hope you're good. Yeah, because pound CAD is now broken structure and it's doing with some force, and by structure I mean this low here, as that low gave us the high. The reason why I'm so interested with these shorts here is because of where we've been trading. Price has taken out a major high back over here. And I said we've been looking extremely corrective. And because of that, I do think price is probably going to bleed back to the downside. Because if you zoom out, this is just a big range. Equal lows, equal highs. Don't let that trend fool you. Maybe it is a legit breakout and price will have an explosive move. That could be the case. But this is textbook range conditions right now. So the probability of price reverting back to the downside and coming back underneath that high is pretty high actually. And how we can profit from that is if we do see that push down, there probably will be an extensive move, probably back to the median. So if I whip out, let me just draw this more accurately. So if I whip out the line tool and I get the fib from the low to the high, there's your middle roughly, 50% of the range. There's a pretty good chance you can expect price to make a move more enough to that level. Might not be exact. You can draw like a zone around it like that, and that could be your bet. Okay, if price is going to fake the high here and revert back inside the range, not only could I potentially expect to push the middle, but I could potentially even expect to push the end, but we're not going to look for such a big move there because this is the weekly chart, let's not forget. So pound CAD for me is in a very interesting place. So I'm looking to see if we can get back below that high, and if we do, which I do think we will, I am now going to be looking for shorting opportunities. So if we can persist in this move, I'll be looking at pullbacks, break and retest, might consolidate, break that, retest, might have a bigger pullback at some stage, and then continue there. We'll see how the market does unfold. But that will be the play for pound CAD, knowing where we are positioned in higher time frames, which is why I do think using high time frames is so important. A lot of people just stick to lower time frames and use that for bias and execution. I think you're definitely limiting yourself if you do that. Utilizing higher time frames is so important, especially if you want to hold trades for longer. If you're just here for like a quick few pips and you're done, yeah, you can get away with it. But if you're looking to try and swing for like 2, 3, 4, 5 to 1s, you want to know what the bigger play is and that you can use that to your advantage. I'm not saying you have to scale all the way to the monthly chart, but if you're going to be taking trades in the 15, at least be aware of what's going on in the 4 hour and the daily. If you're going to be taking trades in the 4 hour, know what's going on in the daily and the weekly. Even the monthly could provide some useful information, because it's all about context with trading. It's all about context. A break and retest, very simple chart pattern. It performs well in certain conditions. If you can find those conditions utilizing higher time frames, you're going to put yourself in the best places to succeed. If you limit your view just to one time frame and you're looking just for a break and retest there, yeah, it's going to win sometimes, but you're going to be taking a lot of rubbish trades because the context is not quite clear, and simply just looking at the bigger picture will help clear the context up. So yeah, I highly recommend use higher time frames. So yeah, pound CAD's an interesting area. Funnily enough, Euro CAD, very similar market to pound CAD, hinting at the same move. Again, if I scale to the weekly chart, you can see another market which has been ranging for quite some time. Again, you can see where we're trading, near enough the top end of the range. We've kind of had a bit of a breakout there. If I do see price fall back inside this range, similar to pound CAD, I'm looking at a move back down. This is kind of your low of the range there, 50% around there somewhere. Actually, let's just use the fib. So your 50% is around there. You can just draw a zone around that, and that's your longer term target. You don't necessarily have to be looking to push trades all that way, but that's the target you're kind of looking to work towards. And as long as structure is pointing down, you can keep looking for pullbacks along the way. So yeah, in terms of EuroCAD, I like the shorts for this one. At the moment, we haven't broke structure yet, so the shorts are still very premature, because equally, price could find support here and rally, which you don't want to be seeing as a seller. But if we can join the club with pound CAD and break structure, now you've got both in unison breaking structure, both pointing down. The pullback probabilities just become a lot higher, and you can bet the continuation. So yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on Euro CAD pound CAD. This is probably more for next week, to be honest, because I'm going to need more downside and some pullbacks, and it's already Wednesday, so yeah, probably an opportunity for next week. And there's a couple of CHF pairs I want to go through as well. Trading tools, what's up? Interested? Let me know. You can drop me an email if you want, or you can message on social media. My social media is in the description, but you can find my email, my channel, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, if you do want to talk, let me know. Beck, what's up? Missed Euro. Could you run over? Yeah, you can take a look, no problem. So CAD. So can we look? I thought you meant CAD. Can we look long-term bullish, or just GBP is so bad? Are you talking about for pound, Raymond? Let me know which. Let me know which pair, which market you're talking about. Can you give an opinion on IC markets? Very positive opinion. I've been using IC markets for at least 6 years. At least 6 years I've been using IC markets, and yeah, I mean, it's done a good job. It's not perfect. There are some times where spreads do go crazy a little bit sometimes, but in terms of just execution, spread, pretty much industry standard. It's a huge brokerage, regulated in Australia. Of course, leverage, I'm pretty sure you can get up to 1 to 500. And pretty trustworthy, and your money's protected as well. I think up to 80 grand as well. So yeah, IC markets, pretty good brokerage, huge brokerage. Yeah, not perfect, but you don't need to worry. Pound CAD. Yeah, no, long term I'm not bullish. Long term not bullish. We've just broken structure on pound CAD. That shifted my bias. Appreciate it, Bashi. Thank you for dropping the link there. Yeah, we've just broken some structure on pound CAD, so I'm not bullish at all. This was our low, which gave us that high. We've just gone and broken through that with a lot of force. That for me is a red flag for longs now. So I'm actually leaning to bearish, and of course, where we're positioned, I think we could keep falling. Okay, use IC markets too, Bashi. Nice. Sick for 1 minute. Yeah, I mean, I never really trade that low. So, I mean, again, I trade hourly a lot, 4 hour a lot, a bit more intraday now, and spreads pretty much industry standard. No real complaints. Payouts. Are you talking about the IC markets prop firm? If you're talking about that, I've actually used the IC markets prop firm, so I can't comment on that. I've used the brokerage for like 6 years, and I've had withdrawals, deposits of, I've done different types of withdrawals, different types of deposits. Everything has worked out. I think withdrawals take on average like 2 days to reach your bank. So I'm actually recently been like the next day, so pretty swift with withdrawals. Deposits are pretty much instant, but deposits are always instant with every brokerage, aren't they? Withdrawals are the ones that take time. So yeah, no complaints. But payouts, if you're talking about the IC markets prop firm, I haven't used that. Someone was trying to tell me to go Advantage. I've never checked out Advantage, so can't comment on them either. Again, I know they're pretty big. Not as big as IC though. But yeah, I never used Vantage, so I do not know. Oh, really? Signal serving scammers using Vantage. That's not a good look. Okay, yeah, broker, yeah, you're good. Withdrawals, good. Because with payouts, I always relate that word to a prop firm. Withdrawals is like, from a personal account. But yeah, in terms of withdrawals, fine. Yeah, I mean, I've never used Vantage, so I wouldn't comment on them. I mean, I don't even know anyone who uses them as well, so I've got no experience. I've just seen them about, that's all. Yeah, IC does have a prop firm. I think they opened it maybe a few months ago, 4 or 5 months ago. I haven't used it. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how big it is because I don't really see IC markets promoted that much. So I'm not too sure. But yeah, they have a prop firm. A lot of the big brokerages have started open prop firms. I know. Do Oanda have one? Yeah, Oanda have got a prop firm as well. Yeah. A guy was gonna flip 200, flip my. Oh, that's a textbook scam. If someone tells you, "Give me your money and I'm gonna flip it," that's literally saying, "Can I scam you, please?" That's textbook. Don't ever give your money to someone who's gonna say they're gonna flip it. Don't ever do that. Don't ever do that. I've seen that scam way too many times. Those scams were still those offers will be made when I first started trading. That was like 8 years ago. So it's crazy that they're still doing the same technique. But yeah, that's a textbook scam, man. Because even the logic is flawed. Because what benefit are you going to have of flipping 200 to 400 quid? First of all, if you can flip accounts consistently, you're extremely profitable. There's no point to be flipping other people's money. And number two, what's the profit share going to be? Out of 200 quid made. There's no point in that. And of course, the room for error is huge. So, yeah. I mean, I know it's a quick buck, but it's just a scam written all over it. Oh, really? You move your money to Vantage? Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. I think a rule of thumb is if anyone's asking you to do anything with your money in trading, 99% of the time it's a scam. Unless they're actually going to give you like an actual product. Of course, the product can still be a scam, but at least there's an actual exchange. If someone's saying, "Give me your money now, turn it into this," that's scam. So yeah, don't do that, please. You wouldn't think I work for a bank. No, I wouldn't. I would not think you work at a bank at all, man. I would not think that. 200 to a K, yeah. Yeah, that's stupid, man. I mean, the thing is, I understand. Like, you give some money, you make a quick buck. You didn't really have to do anything, and the worst case scenario, you lose £200. That's your risk. But because it's not official either, if you just transfer me that 200, I could just withdraw that and run and say I never met you, and there's no way you're getting that £200 back. So yeah, do not do that. Let me have a quick look at some of the indices, how they're doing today. Okay, so still looking pretty bullish. Oh, nice little break and retest this morning. Is that this morning? Yeah, this morning. Nice little break and retest. We spoke about this yesterday. I wasn't too sure if we were going to have the pullbacks. Momentum just picked up. But really nice and tidy price action. Pullback, retest. Look at that for a wick. Textbook stuff there from Dow Jones. S&P. S&P a bit more corrective. You could argue we did have a successful break and retest, but not as clear. And then we're kind of failing at highs there a little bit, so a bit more corrective. Still very very strong uptrend, but not as powerful as US. And this looks to be a nice break and retest off the prior high there. Nice push there. And again, this goes back to what I was mentioning earlier, that you can use very simple strategies, break and retest, pullbacks into moving averages. You don't need anything complex, but if you're going to do that, you need to have the conditions and the context of the market mapped out to a T. Because you can use simple strategies like this, but of course, break and retest doesn't work every time, but they do work in certain instances. And it's your job to find those instances and deploy the strategy when the time is right, and when it's not, get the hell out of there. Don't do that again. Yeah, exactly. No such thing as easy money. It's alright, Beck. We've all been there. Well, I haven't, but it's very easy to be there, to be honest. And I think that's why the trading has such a bad rep as well, because a lot of people are very quick to do this. And the thing is, I deal with this quite a lot because a lot of people pretend to be me. They will like use my profile pic and set up an account as myself on like Instagram or Telegram or even Discord, and they'll message people as me, and then they'll tell them, give me your money, then I'll flip it for you. So they think it's me, but it's of course a scammer. And the funny thing is, I've actually done this to my family members before. So I've had family members ask me if I'm actually doing that, when I've had no clue this is happening, because of course it's with some impersonator. So yeah, I've seen this so many times because they're using my profile. And of course, I'm not even that big on YouTube. I can imagine bigger channels are going to have it 10 times as much as me. Anyway, for Euro USD, I'm not a big fan of this, to be honest. Price action is rubbish, and like I said, going into the news today, I think it's a good call. Unless you're looking for a quick intraday position, maybe it's a good call just to give it the rest today and come back fresh tomorrow for the rest of the week. CAD CHF, we'll take a look at that. Money bags. Let me just get through euro dollar. Yeah, I was going to say we've all been there, but then I was like, yeah, I haven't actually. But to be honest, I've always had a bit of guidance because I learned trading through my dad as well. So he kind of made sure I didn't do anything crazy either. So I wasn't like completely blind. I probably would have done that maybe. But yeah, I'll go for euro dollar and then take a look at CAD Swiss. So in terms of euro USD, yeah, so because price is conflicting, we've got a lot of higher lows, but equally so we've got a lot of lower highs. There's no consistency of direction, at least on the 4-hour daily chart. 4-hour chart. Daily chart, you can argue there's an uptrend at play, so you would have naturally more of a bullish bias, but equally so, it's a very flat trend right now. Momentum has died. It's not something you want to be aggressive on. So if you're looking at opportunities for euro, I'm looking for price to start taking out highs or lows. Then that will help with me with direction, especially on the 4-hour chart. So if the market can push like this and take out that high, now I know, especially if it does it with a lot of pace as well, then I know, okay, this looks like a high low forming. Momentum shifted, we've broken out this counter trend line. in that aspect, I'm now betting on price pushing back to this high here. And then I'll look for pullbacks and continuations. If the market does drop and takes up this low, then I know that, okay, we've tried to rally, but it's failed. We've taken out this low, taken out this low. The odds of price now pushing to this zone is pretty high. We're looking for the next pullback and then some shorts. So essentially, we're waiting for a breakout, waiting for clear direction with euro, because I don't have clear direction right now with euro. And of course, there's times where direction is really clear. There's times where direction it isn't clear. And when that's the case, I have to really scale back my trade frequency and be a bit more patient. And then, of course, when direction is clear, that's when you put your foot to the pedal and you start to really take advantage of opportunities. But until one of these highs go, I don't really know the play here for euro. And to be honest, I don't need to know the play. All I need to know is what happens and then see if I can take advantage of it. So whatever happens tomorrow, and if you can see a breakout, great. If it's down, we'll look for shorts. If it's up, we'll look for longs. The important bit is the pullback and finding the entries there to take advantage of the continuation. So that's where the focus will be. But right now here, I would stay away. I would stay away. I'm not seeing much of an opportunity. In terms of CAD Chef short, let's see how that one's doing. Nah, still looking pretty bullish. I mean, I do like where we're trading. We're coming back to retest broken support. Now turn resistance. I do want to see price close back below that high. If we could do that well, I do like the idea of the shorts, because what price has done, it's had a pullback, it's swept the high there, it's closed back below, so telling us that, okay, this is a bit of a fake out, and then you can bet on a push back to the low end of the range. You're not asking for a lot. Price has spiked the high, it has a good reason to push lower. And then, if things go very well, you might get a push back to the low of the swing low. After all, we are in a pretty consistent bearish trend. There's a good chance price can get back to lows as well, so that makes sense too. But you don't want to jump ahead of that, because it is a market which, yes, is very bearish, but it is running out momentum, and it is at all-time lows, and probably is getting ready for a bigger pullback at some stage. Maybe it's now, maybe it's in a couple more weeks potentially. We don't know. But we are trading in a nice area, back at resistance, taking out highs. Let's see if we can reclaim that and then bet on a move back to lows. And then we'll see if we get the bigger move. But it's a nice place for a short, but no clear entry. Market's still bullish. And of course, this legit could just be a breakout for price to continue higher. Well, if that's the case, we don't want to be shorting anyway. So I'll be very careful with CAD Swiss in that regard. I would say this is the high to keep an eye on. If we break above that, then yeah, there's a clear shift in trend and momentum. Since I made Discord, so I'm acting like me. No way. Trading for a stock they spoke to Yusuf. No way. Especially big time. Yeah, that's the welcome to the big leagues. Get some people impersonating you. But yeah, it does happen a lot, to be honest, and because it happens a lot, that means it's actually pretty profitable actually, which is sad. So yeah, my advice is always don't give your money to anyone who says they're going to trade it for you, unless they're like officially registered in like a financial institution. Of course, that's different. That's a professional. But if it's just some guy saying, yeah, I can do it for you, 9 times out of 10, if not 10, pretty much 10, it's a scam. What's the plan for the yen pairs? Still bullish? Yes, Raymond. Very, very bullish on the yen pairs. Well, 3 in particular, because of course I don't need to be bullish on all the yen pairs and trade them all. I just need to find the better ones. At the moment, Swiss yen looking really good. You can see the uptrend there, clear as day. No signs of that turning around. So my plan is still looking for longs. I'm not looking just to jump straight in. I like price to settle first, maybe consolidate, spike low, then continue. Something similar to this. We actually did that pattern here. Maybe not to the most obvious degree, but you can see nice consolidation. Did spike low a couple times with those wicks, and that set us off to the upside. It wasn't the best Continuation, not a lot of momentum, but it did the job. So I'm kind of looking for something similar of that nature to repeat, get us back to highs, so on and so forth. As long as we don't take out this low here or pick up some crazy momentum, the plan is still for now looking to buy Swiss yen. The plan is still looking to buy Euro yen. Still very convincing uptrend there. I do bet on the continuation. And the plan is still to buy pound yen as well. I'm still liking the trend there too. We're pushing back into these lows. I'm going to see what we can do on that low there. Spike through recovery. I think that's a smart place for a buy too. And then, yeah, if the yen does remain weak, I can bet on the continuation. I'm going to keep one close eye on the yen basket because this, of course, is the main driver. As long as we don't start breaking back above this with force, I'm liking it. If we stay below this, start to pick up momentum, the yen pairs can really push higher. Yen will drop really hard. And that's still a pretty big gap to fill. So that means if the yen's going to weaken, all the yen crosses are going to push up, and it's just kind of just choosing the better one, really. But yeah, out of the yen pairs, Swiss, pound, and euro look the best. We can take a look at BTC, LFTJ, no problem. Possible sales around 117. Okay, we'll take a look at that, no problem. Bashi, pound Swiss, sell my entry, but look at it now flying. What's going on with pound Swiss? Okay, seeing some nice momentum here. Looks like price kind of stagnated here. Now looks like time for some upside. 50-minute pushing up really well. Did you miss the entry, Bashi? Okay, so it looks like, is this CHF weakness or pound strength? I think it's a bit more CHF weakness. CAD CHF was pushing up pretty hard. Dollar CHF, seeing some upside. I know Oz CHF is up. Aussie's been quite strong. New Zealand. Yeah, CHF is quite weak right now. And of course, Swiss yen going through a bit of downside. So yeah, Swiss is a bit strong right now. I'm still bullish on the Swiss, but looks like we're having a bit of weakness. We'll take a look at BTC next. Yeah, that's it. IC funded, yeah. What's up, Red Rose? Welcome. Hope you're good. Reminds me of gold a couple of weeks ago. How so? Is it just because it's very bullish? I mean that is the nature of the indices. They kind of just trend very well. And of course, occasionally they will have some big spikes. But if we go like the weekly chart, yeah, it's a very bullish market. S&P is even more bullish. So yeah, this is gold. I mean, it's actually the funny thing is actually gold's reminding us more of the indices, more the other way around. But I definitely understand what you mean. Yes, super bullish, basically just buying dips, and that's essentially the plan, really. Crazy how we went through this cycle. Because I mean, the S&P has always been going up, but crazy to see a cycle going from 2002 to 2008, just to see all the gains wiped out over the course of like 6 years. To put that into perspective, 6 years ago would take us to 2019. So that's like buying here and all your gains go. Of course, it did eventually pick up, and the all-time highs and price kept going, which is why the long game is so attractive for the S&P. Put the money in. Don't worry necessarily about the dips. If the market does dip, just add more money, really. But as an investor, you've done so well for 6 years, and just for all that to go, You still gonna have the composure to hold? Are you gonna panic? And that's where the psychology comes into play. But yeah, it's just a long-term bullish market, so gold has been doing that too. Okay, London didn't give the entry and zones, but no entry sadly. Yeah. Again, that's where the laser focus comes in. You're not here to take advantage of every opportunity. It's just the ones that do fit your plan. You want to take them. Yeah, now it's up 4% in 4 days. The US indices are looking very good. Not even just the US indices, other indices are looking good. I think the DAX is up a little bit. She's pulled back on the day. That one's been quite flat. I know the FTSE's doing well. Yeah, FTSE's phenomenal actually right now. Is that one going to hit 10K? Not too far away now. Let's go take a look at BTC. So, LFTJ, you mentioned a short on Bitcoin to 117441, which will take you to, wait. Oh, taking a sells around there, okay. That's more or less around there. So if you're looking for some shorts there, I can see it lines up with this high here. I'm not the biggest fan of where price is trading right now for BTC, because the way I see Bitcoin is it looks like a range to me. So this is not really my area of value with opportunities. I understand just because it's the middle range doesn't mean there's no opportunities. Just the reason why I don't like it is because there's always that extra probability of the market fluctuating and being very noisy. And my mentality is always focus on the more extremes, especially when the market is ranging. So my attention naturally would be here, even intraday as well. I know intraday you can get away with it a little bit more because you're a bit more short term, but still that's just where the most noise is. Still, there probably could be a reaction there coming back into a major high here that could act as resistance again. And the fact that the market is coming to the middle, you might see a bit of a reaction there too as we sweep highs and pull back. So I can see the logic there, but it's just not really my type of trade. I would rather focus at the lows and the highs. So how big of a target are you looking for, LFTJ? Is it just a quick intraday sell? Are you looking to swing it back to lows? What's the play with the LFTJ shorts? LFTJ shorts. With the gold shorts. BTC, I'm losing my words here. What's going on? Yeah, I mean, again, a lot of the big brokers have done similar stuff as well. No icy markets are under. Forget off the top of my head, but yeah, if you Google it, you'll find some others. Red Rose. Look at the NDX chart. Check the gaps up every day. Okay, we can have a look. Up again today when the stock market opens later. Euro's got to drop. Look for sells. Liquidity on the day before uptrend continues. Is this for the news? Are you looking to play the news here? Or are you just expecting price to drop because of price action? Okay, let me have a quick look. I mean, again, with the NAS, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily bank on the gap, but yeah, the market is bullish and we have gap, what, 3 days in a row? 1, 2, yeah, 3 days in a row. So we could very much gap again. But yeah, the plan we should be looking for pullbacks. What's the next big price? I mean, we've done 25. Probably would say 30. That is still very far away. You're just going to tag 26? Keep an eye on 27, but yeah, very, very bullish. So yeah, in terms of EU, I'm not really looking to trade EU. Why don't we get enough sleep here? I'm just messing up my words. Yeah, I'm not really looking to trade euro because number one, we've got big news coming up, and I know if I get into a trade now, it's probably not going to hit targets before the news. So it's going to be a situation where you got price maybe hovering around entry. So it's always a difficult scenario. Do you hold through the news? Well, it comes down to what your plan is and your risk tolerance. Maybe you do hold through the news, maybe you don't. But I know going to a Fed interest rate, I'd rather price not be at my entry going in full size. So I'd rather wait till after the news has happened. So that's number one. Number two, the market is still quite indecisive right now. We are making lower highs but high lows as well. And altogether, this is very ranging conditions. So I'm not really looking to try and predict too much right now with euro or with the dollar in that matter, to be honest. And that goes for most USD pairs. And I think the best play for now, if you are looking to trade euro, is just fading highs and lows. Okay. Strong dollar, especially with this Trump influence. Yeah, I mean Trump has that tendency, to be honest. I'm not sure about the news release itself. I think that could cause, especially with the conference afterwards as well, maybe the Trump influence will have its play as time continues, but the news itself could definitely cause some USD weakness. So I'll always be careful because that could be enough to spike you out of a position before price pushing down. Depends on your stop loss and how you want to manage your trade. But yeah, I'm just not in love with the price action for euro. Okay, once I'll G long, see if I had enough to hold through FOMC, but no. Can always get back in, Bashi. Can always get back in. But to be honest, that's pretty crazy if you had the if you had the plan to hold through FOMC, because you entered London session on the 1 minute chart. So to hold that, to even get to the news, you're gonna have to have a lot of 1 minute candles going your way. Yeah. So that is pretty impressive expectation, looking to hold 1 minute entry like 12 hours before the news is due. If it did, you could have got a colossal trade. So I know the reward probably worth the risk, but a lot of room for error. I trade the 1 minute is the main push of the day. I mean, of course, every move's going to have to start on the lowest time frame. So a move in the 4 hour will, of course, start on the 1 minute. I mean, you could even drop that to the second time frame if you really want to get nitty and gritty. So yeah, of course, it makes sense. You know, eventually the push will have to, you know, start intraday, then it will build up to the higher time frames as well. So of course, if you do catch it right, you could be positioned extremely well for a big move. And you're going to have a very small stop loss for, you know, hundreds of pips potentially. But it's just that the room for error is just so small. You know, if price just wants to have a slightly big pullback, that could be enough to take you out the trade. Okay, fair enough. Let's focus on the session. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as long as you have a plan around it, to be honest, that's the key thing. Because some people have just do that just for the fun of the game, and not have a plan about it, and then worry if they take too many break evens, for example. because if you're always going to look for the huge winners, be prepared to take a few more break evens or a few more losses, because you're going to get to that stage where you get into a trade and you have targets all the way up there. Well, there's a good chance price could go in your favor, but it might even go 70% of the way. But that can happen, and because your room for error is so slim, you're going to take a few more break evens and a few more losses. I mean, a good way to counteract that is just have like some type of management plan, partial taken, which I'm pretty sure you do. That's the London lingo coming into play. But yeah, I mean, going into the news, don't have any positions open, so I'm just going to be sitting back and yeah, watching the firework display, all comfy, no risk on the table. Of course, you might have a little bit of FOMO. I wish I was in a trade to see if I can take advantage of it, but again, when you've been in the game long enough, there's always another opportunity down the road, and normally there's actually better opportunities after the news has happened anyway. So just be patient, wait for the opportunity to arrive. It will eventually, and then it's the time to strike. But in my regard, I've got a lot of focus on the yen pairs. I got plans for the USD pairs, which I'll trade depending if USD is strong or weak. Again, I'm not really in the business of necessarily trying to predict if USD will be strong or weak. Of course, I can have my best guess, but at the end of the day, even if I'm still wrong, there's still opportunity to trade in the direction I didn't think price will go and still make profit. So I'm just going to wait for the news to do its thing and then readjust what I need to readjust. Crosses, keep an eye on pound CAD, euro CAD to the downside. Momentum's picked up. There could be some nice longs there. And CHF pairs, still keep an eye on Aussie CHF and CAD CHF as well. But I've been pretty bullish, so still wait till after the news to trade them. Okay, Sumo FMC, let me know how it goes, Bashi. My YouTube said that might be fun. I might do mukbang pizza. That would be interesting, actually. That would be interesting. What's your advice if you want to trade full time? No job currently. I'm working. So the advice for transitioning from full time to trading full time, I would say yeah, that's good advice. To be honest, actually having money saved. Yeah, I think having a clear plan, because of course the main scare of going full time trading, especially from a full time job, is the uncertainty of your income. Because for whatever reason, you could have a really bad time in the markets. You might not make money for a few months, and of course you've got bills to pay. So number one, definitely having money saved that can cover you for at least 6 months. The more the better. If you can have money for a year, of course it's harder to have more money, but if you could have money for a year, that takes a lot of pressure off your shoulders. So having money saved, I would say, is a crucial step. You don't want to be in a situation where you're relying upon your performance for this month to pay your bills for next month. That is some crazy place to be, because if things go wrong, then what? So you don't want to be in that situation. Yeah, have that expectation that things could go very wrong for a few months. Whatever reason, could be market conditions, psychology, whatever, bad habits. Be prepared for that as well. And secondly, set up like a plan of action. Say, for example, okay, if I'm going to stop trading, if I'm going to stop my full-time job in Jan, I'm going to give myself 6 months and see how things go. And if things go pretty well, okay, I'll stick it out for another 6 months. Don't think, okay, if I go full-time trading, I just have to be full-time forever. If it's not working, you're going to put yourself in a really tricky situation. You don't want to be there. It's better to not be there and put trading on pause a bit. So give yourself like a good 6-month gap to try and see how your progress goes. If your progress is great, give yourself another 6 months, go again, repeat the cycle. If the 6 months don't go well and you use up most of your saving, have a plan of how you're going to get back into working and making regular income again, and put trading on pause and try and figure that and tweak your system. So yeah, if you do go full time, just give yourself like a 6-month horizon where you can get back into work if things are not going well. And of course, if things are going well, great. Give it another 6 months and go from there. But to be honest, really, the more money saved, the better. What's up, Yusuf, my man? Right for the end of the stream, but good to see you anyway. Good to see you. Yeah, guys, we have come up to the end of the stream. Of course, it's a big day today regarding news, so very much be careful. I know it's exciting, but risk is essential. Again, have a plan, stick to the plan. That's the best way to go around trading. You don't want to be making up as you go along, because the markets will punish you. I will be live again tomorrow, so hopefully we have the news settled and I have a plan of action for USD. I've been very kind of dry with USD analysis the past few days because it just hasn't been fruitful markets. My focus has been elsewhere. Hopefully the USD picks up a bit. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, if I do get any positions, I'll let you guys know, give you guys the rundown and how the trades are playing out, and of course what the plan of action is. So do make sure you do join me on the stream tomorrow, same time as always, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. UK time. If you guys had a good time here, do drop a like and subscribe to the channel. I was about to say subscribe to the stream. Subscribe to the channel if you are finding it useful. It does really help the channel grow. And of course, hit the bell and check out channel memberships if you do want to see more perks, members only videos, trade ideas, etc. If you're interested, check it out. But guys, really appreciate you tuning in. Have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next one.